Very first thing we're going to talk about is shoes. These are probably arguably the most important piece of equipment that you would have on a cross-country jaunt, or honestly, just any kind of long distance hiking, running, walking, whatever it is that you're doing. You need to protect your feet and make sure that they're always good to go. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the Ultra running shoes. These are the Ultra Lone Peaks. They have been fantastic so far. Lone Peak number 8. These are I think they're just a beautiful shoe. I really like the coloration. I really like the pattern. I think they're just a sleek shoe. And what I like the most about them in terms of a functionality standpoint is the wide toe base. I personally am pretty prone to getting ingrown nails, which I got a few of at the very beginning of the walk. And since I started using these in Rome, Georgia, I have been hooked. They are a fantastic shoe, plenty of breathability, and I've been getting these at REI, and they've been running about $160 for the shoe. I just picked up this pair today because I wanted to be able to show you what the wear looks like after about 500 miles or so. Personally, I wear out a lot of the back area over here. I think it might just be the way that I walk, or maybe there's a lot more pressure or more friction in that area. But they come with these foam inserts, and what I typically do is I leave these in here for about 2 to 3 days worth of walking, let the shoe get kind of broken in, and then I replace them with some kind of like Dr. Scholl's or really any other insert that I can find. I've been kind of playing around with the inserts. I haven't found one that works necessarily better or worse than another, but I usually try to buy inserts around the $15 to $30 range. I really like the gel ones as well. Then just to kind of show you the wear and tear that happens over time, this is a brand new shoe, and this is one that's been through about 400 to 500 miles worth of walking. I got these ones in Oklahoma City, and I just picked these ones up in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And as you can see, I mean, just over time, they get worn down from the sun. They get pretty beaten up. The heels give out pretty quick, honestly. I'd say after less than a week worth of walking, which albeit is roughly 100 to 120 miles worth of walking. I do about 25 to 30 miles in a day. So I make sure that I have these moleskin fabric sticker things that I put in the back to make sure that it doesn't tear up my heels on my feet. But again, here is the brand new shoe. And here's what they look like after about 4-ish hundred miles worth of walking. Like I said, right around here in the heel area, they get worn out the most, as well as in the toe pad area over here. I mean, just seeing them side to side is pretty incredible. So yeah, these are the Lone Peak number 8s. Um, Another gentleman, Kenny, that walked across America. Kenny Walks Across America. I'll link his info in the description as well for his Facebook group and Facebook page. He recommended that I get these shoes, and it's probably the best recommendation that I've gotten in terms of shoes. I will be using these shoes beyond the walk as well for running, hiking, walking in general. I really like the shoes. Again, I really like the color. I think they look like a great shoe, and they function fantastic. So I actually use 2 different types of shoes. I use these, the Lone Peak Ultras, but there's a second pair that I like to use, and that would be the Lone Peak Ultras All Weather. So these guys are really cool. They're actually waterproof shoes, and I started using these because it's been raining quite a bit, and stepping in puddles, going around different terrain, it has been very useful in terms of keeping my feet extra dry. Same thing with these ones. They have basically the same exact tread. They're basically just a different color, and they have that waterproof material all over the top and the sides. And it's done very well in the rain, going through puddles. I mean, just like with any kind of shoe, the water's going to get in on the sides where your feet actually go in. That's unavoidable. But what I really like about having 2 pairs of shoes is when I know there's going to be weather coming up, I can switch into these and try to stay as dry as possible for as long as possible. And then I can kick in with the regular Ultras, and I will be good to go while these other pair dries out. Show you the tread difference. These ones have gone through about 250 to 300 miles of walking, and that's what the difference looks like. The new pair also has a different color lace. I don't know why, but this is kind of what they look like side to side. All right, now that we're done talking about shoes, we're going to jump into the backpack that I use for my journey across our beautiful nation. This guy right here. This is an Osprey backpack. I got also at REI when I was still in California. Shameless plug to Google. Rangers Walk Across America. But we'll go ahead and take this off so you guys can actually see what it looks like. And this is an Osprey Exos 58 backpack that I got at REI in California. And this guy has been fantastic. I've never backpacked in my life before I started my walk across the country. I never owned a hiking backpack, but this guy has been a fantastic introduction to the world of backpacking. And the reason for it is really just this area over here. The airspeed, I don't know, functionality that it has, whatever you want to call it. There's a nice gap between the actual backpack itself and my back. And I tend to be a pretty sweaty boy. So having this extra airflow along the back has been extremely comfortable the entire time I've been walking. And I don't know what it is about the straps itself, but I remember in college and high school, I would constantly have shoulder pain from all the books and materials that I would carry. I haven't experienced any kind of shoulder pain with this backpack, and I've carried anywhere from 15 to about 30 pounds worth of stuff in the backpack at any given moment for 10, 15, 20 miles at a time. It has these side pockets, so you basically have a built-in fanny pack. I keep some self-defense items as well as business cards in there for ease of access so that when I meet people on the road, I can give them a card so they know where to check me out. But then kind of moving to the front, it has this nice mesh area right here that you can keep extra goodies. I typically keep vitamins or things that I need on a daily basis, like deodorant or my body glide in this area so that it's easy to access. I also keep, ibuprofen, some snacks, and gum in these bigger pockets. And then the actual area inside, when you open this guy up, is extremely roomy. So you could fit like a small person in here if you wanted to, as long as they weighed up to I don't know, I think this has a max capacity of 50 pounds or something. I don't know how much it has, but yeah, I really like it. And the cool thing about this top part is that this is also detachable. So if you don't need this or you want to reduce weight, if you are I don't know, I kind of consider an extreme backpacker that cares about ounces, then you can remove that and really just reduce weight quite a bit. Obviously, I'm not too worried about ounces at a time because I have my buddy right here. This is Myrtle. I got him on my first inter-country, my first time abroad, my first time overseas traveling. And he's just been my buddy ever since, just kind of watching my back and making sure that cars don't hit me. So thanks, Myrtle. I appreciate it. But yeah, this backpack runs about $250. So I think it was well worth it. I was a little bit hesitant when I was first checking it out, just because, again, I'm used to, school backpacks and, I've never spent more than probably $50 on a backpack. But this guy has been extremely worth it. Again, it is breathable, it's comfortable, and it's just been an overall amazing introduction to the world of backpacking. And I'll definitely be using it moving forward. Honestly, not even just for backpacking, just for moving things around or taking a backpack, when I take my laptop or coaching stuff to libraries or to go to meetings or group coaching sessions, I'll probably honestly just be using this guy because, again, it can carry a lot and it is extremely comfortable. All right, now we're moving on to the biggest item, and that is going to be the cart that I use. Across the country is one thing. If you can do it with a backpack, you are stronger than I. But I have to carry a lot of gear at once, typically several days worth of food, water, as well as all of my camping and just general living lifestyle gear, right? I can't figure out how to keep it below 15 to 30 pounds worth of stuff for the backpack, so that's why I have to use the cart. And what I've been using is the Burley Encore X. Again, got this at REI. The very first cart I got was about $150, and it barely lasted to Athens, Georgia, where the tire exploded on me. And when I say exploded, I mean the actual tire where the rubber meets the road, that part came apart, and I had to get BMX tires in order to make it to my next stop. And those tires are still on it to this day. And the other thing with the tires is the spokes started to fall out. And that was only after probably 200 to 300 miles worth of walking. And this cart, I've had zero issues with the tires themselves. I've had some flats here and there, but that's expected when you're walking along the side of the road and there's glass and nails. But let me just kind of show you different pieces of it. And again, this is a Burley Encore X. Great functionality. What I think is really neat about the tires themselves is that they are very easily detachable, which you might not think is that big of a deal when you're walking across the country, but when you're going into different hotels or you're putting things into people's cars for shuttling you around, being able to collapse it down to an extremely manageable size has been so helpful. And I think the other good part about it being easily take apartable is that if there are any issues, like if there's any issues with the bearings or the connectors, you can take them apart and replace each individual piece. Whereas with the other cart that I had, you couldn't even buy replacement parts. You would have to just buy a brand new stroller, which is what I almost did until I realized I was so close to REI in Athens, Georgia. This cart, I think it can carry up to about 120 pounds or so worth of goods and equipment. Only complaint that I have is with the third wheel attachment. I think it was very beginning of Mississippi. Yeah, very beginning of Mississippi. One of the prongs actually broke that hold that front wheel onto the jogger. So I ended up having to get a shuttle into town to my hotel. I had to go through the whole return process with the REI, which they were wonderful about. I did have to pay for shipping, which I was a little bit annoyed about just because, again, it wasn't my fault that the thing broke because I was keeping it very light at that time for the record. And I mean, the part got to me within a couple days. It didn't put me back at all. So I was happy about that. But again, just be wary of that front wheel. I think it's just because it's aluminum, it's a little bit of a cheaper, not cheaper, but less strong metal. Just can cause some issues. So again, you don't want to overload this thing. Keep it as light as possible, but if you do so and you pay attention to the weight, you should be fine. But the other good thing about it is that there's plenty of space for customization. Posters for the side. And I think that putting posters and really just being loud about what you're doing with walking across the country is extremely important for people to, I don't know, just be a little bit nicer to you, to know what you're doing, and really just strike up more conversation in more places. I think that that's been very helpful so far as well. I don't have children, too, but if I did, I would probably throw them in a Burley. Why not? I mean, seems fun. I'd ride in it if I wasn't 200 and something pounds and could actually sit in here. I think that'd be fun. This guy sent me back about $650, which makes it definitely the most expensive single piece of equipment that I have. Because in addition to the actual $650 carts, the wheel attachment was about $150. And the BMX tires I got, I think were about 40 or 50. So do the math, what, about 900 or so dollars after tax and everything else. And I mean, with the tubes and everything, probably about $1,000 worth of, I don't know, stuff went into this cart. So more expensive than my first car, which sucks. But again, it's kept me safe. It's kept all my gear mostly dry, honestly, for the most part too. I've been throwing a tarp over it when it rains, and it's been keeping things dry inside and safe. So yeah, again, I would recommend this cart. If you are walking across the country, do not cheap out on your cart. It would suck if that had happened when I wasn't able to get an Uber into town or I didn't have a way out with the original cart tires exploding. That was a huge issue and could have been avoided if I would have just bit the bullet and got one of these right off the bat. So yeah, that's about it for the carts. So that's my review. Honestly, I give all these products a 10 out of 10, and I would recommend these whether or not you're walking across the country, whether you are going on a weekend hike, if you're a weekend warrior, if you are a soccer mom that wants to push your kids around the neighborhood, a soccer dad that wants to push your kids around the neighborhood, whatever it is that you are, if you are wanting quality products, these are the way to go. The Osprey backpack, the Ultra running shoes, as well as the Burley cart. All three products are going to be listed down in the description below for the Amazon link. So go ahead and check them out, throw them in your cart, pick them up, and I don't know, I don't think I can make any kind of guarantees. They've served me extremely well, so I'm very, very grateful. And the cool thing is they're all branded. They're all colors. Look at that. They're all like blue and black. That's like perfect for me. So, yeah, that's about it. If you have any questions or you want to share your experience with these products, be sure that you do so in the description or in the comments below, and I will respond to everybody as best I can. No guarantees or promises there. So that's my review of my backpack, shoes, and carts. As always, have fun, stay safe, and be yourself. Thanks, guys. See you next time.